Good evening. You're listening live to the Extreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob. I'm here with a bunch of goddamn puppets talking about this movie, Mortal Kombat, that just came out. Watched it because it's pretty awful. That's what I gotta say. It's about a no charisma guy in a really crappy Marvel DC bullshit ripoff type structure. It's about 2 hours long, of boredom with about 5 minutes of cute stuff, except for one Aussie gentleman, Kano, which we're going to discuss here a little bit. But I've got a couple guys normally that host with me that are AWOL. So I've got Puppetine. Hello, Puppetine. How are you this evening?
I am doing very good. It's nice to be here again, Rob.
I'm glad to have you there. I know you're a burgeoning up and coming YouTube superstar, and you've recently got some TikTok videos that I've seen. I really thought those were interesting, so it's nice to do a little cross promotion. I don't want to make the assumption that Froggy, who's joined us tonight, I think for the very first time, maybe he's come from the other world, because actually the effects he's showing me on this chat are a hell of a lot better than this CGI nonsense called Mortal Kombat. So let's just dive right into it, guys. My initial thoughts are, I wanted to see the film. I saw it. It wasn't horrible, but it was just it was a poor film. I'm not going to say it was pathetic, but it was just poor. I really felt like they tried doing something with the script and it didn't work. I felt like they tried doing something with the lead new character. Didn't work. I thought that the director said, oh, but I'll throw in some of the fatalities and make a couple of those scenes really graphic, and it'll be a really cool movie. Not when you've got Jax with T-Rex arms. It just doesn't work. Ultimately, it didn't look very good. I thought the opening scene and fight was great, and I actually got excited for the rest of the film. After that, it totally went downhill. And I know there's a lot of debate of the, I think, 1995 original film that was so hokey and campy, but that's the point. People who were making the film in 95 were trying to have fun, and it was fun. They got it. They understood it. They understood what it was all about with Mortal Kombat. I don't know what the hell this guy was trying to do, because he was trying to be serious and world build and focus on a franchise, which apparently he was doing, as opposed to this one individual film. Who gives a flying rat's ass what's going on, no matter what babality or friendship or fatality you want to give him, because this was just hot garbage, not a good film. And I understand some people swear they love it. I don't understand it. So Puppetine, seeing as how I know who you are, and Froggy's listening right now, let's let you go first, and then we'll give Froggy a turn. What's your initial thoughts, Puppetine?
I'm completely the opposite of you. I thought the movie was visually fantastic. Just in a comparison between the two, it's not a competition. This film takes the cake. It was filled with action. It was filled with characters that I enjoyed. I know you just said about Jax's arms, but that's a point later on in the film. The arms get bulked up. That was a part of the point, unlocking his ability.
I agree that the director tried having the second of the three acts have a story where you had to figure out how to get it. So whether you're a hardcore gamer and you feel upset with that's the direction you chose to take, I was okay with that. So I don't disagree with that at all. And of course, I liked the little shout out to, as she was doing her big speech about the history of Mortal Kombat, where we're supposed to have a turn, but we really don't. And then the bad guys just kind of kill people on their own. Whatever. I get that we could still have a combat in film 2, 3, or 4 after this, but the Indian guy they showed in a picture there with other cultures, I was like, oh yeah, that dude with the glowing green axe, that's pretty cool. But you can't, I'm trying to understand what you said, why it had tons of action. It had maybe 10 minutes of action in an almost 2-hour film. That's it.
No, not at all. There were fights in almost every location that they went to inside of the temple.
I don't know, really quick ones to me. So, okay.
Well, when we watch the fight, I know it's not hand to hand like the 95 version, but they're epic, it's based off of a video game. The epic moves are what you're here for.
I thought they moved actually pretty slow, especially for people who really know how to do it. They didn't tear it up. If you had Amy Johnson in here, Sonya Blade, she would have kicked some major ass too. But you had some people in here that supposedly know what the hell they're doing. But it looked like maybe it was the way the director shot it with the camera moving in a lot of films. I don't know. It just, the action was fluid, but it didn't seem fast to me, or it was spun up a lot. Froggy, would you like to give us your initial thoughts?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I wanted to say this movie was was okay. I want to say that he was not bad, but it was not great either. A lot of people are praising this, saying, "Oh, it's way better than the original." The original works the way it was because it was '90s, it was campy, and it was authentic costumes. In its base, so you had all the characters. This one introduces the new guy. Great actor, played by Louis Tan from Wu Assassins. You know, people know him from there.
He's the lack of charisma guy, right?
He's the MMA fighter who gets his butt kicked. He's going to be tweeted up, and supposedly he has the mark. He's saved by by Jax, who's working with Sonya Blade. And Sub-Zero wants to kill him because why? Because he's a descendant of Scorpion, who was brutally murdered in the first 5 minutes of the film, and goes to hell. And then we don't see him until the end of the movie. Because why? Because they don't want to have Cole Young have an actual arc. Instead, the whole point of his character, yes, I mean, he's a good character, but he was written like crap. The whole movie was supposed to be like him getting his power. He's supposed to be the main guy. You know, he unlocks his power. He's got the little like daggers, with the little look like basically like Billy Club nightsticks, you would call them. And at the end, we think he's gonna go against Sub-Zero. No, sorry, he gets basically your grandpa comes back from hell. He says like, yeah, you gotta sit there out because you can't do this for me. I'm doing it. You sit out.
Puppetine, you're shaking your head. No,
what's
like about that?
No, I disagree.
He got benched.
Each character in this film gets
we
built this up. There is a new central character, but they're the ones who learns about everything.
Full of bullshit.
For us.
Nope. The whole point of this character. At the very end, we're waiting for him to go get Sub-Zero, and instead we get Grandpappy and this Cole Young guy double teaming against Sub-Zero because little Cole Young can't do it by himself because he's.
So you're saying Millennial Boy got triggered, but even though he got a superpower, and they needed Boomer Dad to come in and save the day.
Basically, that's what they rolled it. And it should have been that. No, we got gypped. We should have had him going in. There's no reason for Scorpion cover. If anything, he should have become a new Scorpion. He is supposed to be the new Scorpion. That's why his bloodline's there. That's why he'll play his movie.
No.
Don't interrupt me, B.
One at a time, guys, or I'll mute you both.
Yeah. So the whole point of his character is he's supposed to basically be there, and he's supposed to fight Sub-Zero at the end, and instead, he doesn't. We basically get benched.
Go ahead.
What I'm going to say is Scorpion, the whole point of him coming back is he's lived in the Netherrealm, hell, basically, for generations, and trained himself, and in that moment that he comes, it's
but why did he come back though?
Of that family fighting.
Why did he come back though? Why couldn't Cole do it by himself? Why couldn't he become the new Scorpion? He has a bloodline.
Why has his own powers?
So yes, he has powers.
Don't argue. Don't. I'll mute you. If I have to, I will.
How rude.
Well, you know what? That's right. It's rude to interrupt each other. Now let's play nice with each other, okay, friends? Now let me start off by saying that there was one very noticeable redeeming feature about the film, and I know Puppetine's a little upset that you and I kind of weren't crazy about the film, and that's this: it's that third-rate C-level jobber, Kano. He comes in, and apparently he got a chance to ad-lib a lot. And the director said, "Hey, be as Aussie as you want to be in this film," and he was, because he had a lot of vulgar comeback stuff that people get shocked at these days. The chemistry between him and Sonya Blade, kind of picking at each other and fighting all that, was really good. And he was a jerk. And to me, because it's been a while since I played the games, I went, wait a minute, he's supposed to be a bad guy, but he's with the good guys. And of course, he turned heel. Ooh, didn't see that coming. But it was really cool how the pissed off he got over dinner, and then he got the little laser beam eye thing. That was kind of cool. That's kind of badass. And so I was going, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But there was just too much time between one character and another one they're doing this. And Puppetine, this is where I disagree with you. I understand thematically and story-wise the director's choice was to say the point of this movie, the second act of it was after we introduced most of the characters to show them gaining their powers and not even really having a combat. I'm okay with all that. But if you're going to try to only have some characters, not really do that, I think you're doing the fan base that's initially installed a major disservice, because people like me that have watched this 20, 30 years ago, you're like, God damn it, I just want the friggin' tournament. I want as many characters as possible. I want to OD on fight and bloody goodness. Here, it's just really tame by comparison. And so, while I understand you think that the first movie was trash, at least it was fun, and everybody felt like it was fun going in, regardless of the quality level. And here, I think the director just overreached with what he was trying to do, or with what he was trying to do, he wasn't effective in getting it done. What do you have to say about that, Puppeteen?
I gotta disagree. I had so much fun in this film, and I didn't expect to. I thought they were going for a dark, serious route, but no, they didn't. They were able to manage awesome fight scenes, brutal fight scenes.
Really,
And,
not that brutal. It's just the finishers,
well,
right?
I mean, there was a lot of blood in this film.
That's tamed by 80s comparisons, though.
No,
I'm just telling you, it's a fact.
In this film, we get to see Goro in action, whereas in the last film, he got punched in the nuts and thrown off a cliff.
Yeah, we got the. It was a little bit of goriness, but yeah, I like the buzzsaw kill by Liu Kang. No. Sorry, or it was the other brother. I get confused.
Spinny hat guy kill, you mean?
Kung Lao
throws he kills the girl. It spins it as a buzzsaw, and drives her into it. Yeah, so it was kind of cool kill. The other one was the dragon, fire dragon kill. That was awesome too. But up until this point, it was slow. It just felt. I just felt like, okay, we're building up. They're gonna learn their stuff, and guess what? There's no tournament.
I mean, the tournament is.
There was no tournament. It was supposed to be a tournament. We promised a tournament. Mortal Kombat's a tournament. Instead, we get bad guys cheating, breaking the rules. Right? Raiden's, I can't do anything. I'll just sit there and do nothing. In the original movies, the first two movies, there were rules. They had fights. There was all structured, so you knew what was going to happen. This one, no, we're just going to skip the rules. It's
like the bad guys are all these rioters and looters from last summer or this year, and Raiden is like the FBI, CIA, all the three-letter agencies that could arrest everybody and choose not to do it. And then when something really goes bad, oh, can you help? Can you help? Oh, I guess I'll come in and do something just to say I did something. It was very like, are you kidding me? Let them get their ass kicked if that's the case there too. I mean, and let them find their powers. But I don't want to watch a Mortal Kombat movie that takes 30 to 45 minutes in a second act to figure out how the guy gets his damn powers and how Jax gets his T-Rex arms turned into the bionic ones there at the very end.
Yeah.
So he spent more time, running around,
looking
like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura too. He's just getting shot by darts that paralyze him. I mean, it was like, come on! I want to see Jax at the beginning, like I did, big jacked up guy. I want to see him kick ass at the beginning. We don't, so he just sits there, kind of like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it was a letdown.
In the beginning of the film, he's fighting against Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero freezes his arms off.
Yeah, on the say like 20 minutes in the movie, he says, yeah, 8 tours. I'm like, and then like, yeah, that's great, bro. 20 minutes in the movie, you die. Your arms ripped off. So that was kind of pointless. I was like, wow, so that's why he loses his arm. Sub-Zero just rips his arm up, and then he falls, hits his face on a freaking girder beam that's sticking out. The rods. I'm surprised his face wasn't destroyed, but nope, he's just knocked out, and they just gave him new arms. He's got baby T-Rex arms, and then he uses superpowers, and the arms transform into big arms.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just give him the big arms? Why did he need to transform? Why couldn't he could do other moves other than his arms just going from baby to big?
Well, he wasn't on the sauce until he got the bionic arm, so there you go. PEDs.
He's the bionic man. He's basically Bionic Man.
Yeah. Well, the thing too about this movie that's disappointing is I think the opening sequence was very strong, so it sets the tone for what you think is going to come, and you don't get it except in brief spurts. Like if this were an 80-minute movie or 90-minute movie tops, and you cut out a lot of junk that wasn't needed in there. I mean, I forget the main bad dude. His job was to do this. Okay, here's my invitation to the main bad dude. This is going to take 20 seconds at most, maybe 15 if I'm quick about it. It's not going to take the 20 minutes it took him. It has begun. Finish him. Get over here. They don't even do a big ballad or friendship. See, he's just there spouting catchphrases. That doesn't make you a heel. You're supposed to intimidate me and be a badass. And just saying that stuff so I can pop for like 2 seconds doesn't do it. And the effects were not special. The color filters they had when they were in the other world looked awful. The set pieces I wanted to like, but Pumpkin, you start off by saying the 95 movie was trash. You know what? For as bad as the CGI and set pieces were then, this movie, which has probably 10, 15 times the budget of that one, I think 50 million was the budget, maybe something like that. It's really not that much better. I'm not seeing how much money they put in the film. I might be wrong on those numbers. So just the idea is that with modern technology and everything else there too, you could have made a damn better looking film. The only cool visual to me besides the opening scene in the forest with the flowers on the trees and the house and everything, and the fact that it was set in historical Japan, I believe it was 1619 or 17, whatever, was that, hopefully not 1619, but was the actual mythology behind the dragon scar, if you will. I don't want to call it a tattoo because it was a birthmark, which means you're chosen and you didn't know it. But of course, at the beginning, they don't even find the baby, which is what they're looking for. Oh, I'm going to kill off the bloodline because I'm super powerful, but I'm going to forget they have a baby, even though I know they had a kid.
Well, he did not know. The thing is, he did not know they had the infant.
How do we know he did or didn't know?
We knew he did not know because he did not have access to the internet to see that this kid has a new baby.
He didn't get the Facebook notification.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'll concede that point, but then later on you get rated basically saying we had to take you back baby-wise when you were born. It's like, okay, well, what happened to this kid from the early 1600s to 2000? How many generations of those fighters did it go through? My brain, which did not want to think, went, wait a minute.
Well, the reason they did not know because the baby was in the floorboard and it was not screaming. Then Raiden came after he was killed, took the baby away and hid it.
Right. But so generations have gone by till somebody's figured out what's going on, and there's been plenty of tournaments since. It didn't make sense if you applied any logic to it at all, which you don't want to in a movie like this. You don't. You want to check your brain at the door, grab your popcorn,
want to point
and see
out
some kick-ass.
The movie wasn't so bad. It was, but it wasn't the great. Just like the first movie, it had its flaws. But yeah. I just don't like the fact that the director decided, you know what, we're gonna put a new character here. But his reason for it, though, if you tell me the reason you don't play because Johnny Cage is a white person and you don't want white heroes, you want to make it focus on the minorities. Well, guess what? That was Liu Kang in the first movie. Was all about that. It wasn't about Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage. And Sonya Blade were just, and Max they were just basically there for, or Jax, sorry, were just there for side characters. Liu Kang was the main character. In this movie, they made an OC character, and Liu Kang's just kind of like he's like, I'm there to teach you, but you all suck.
Well, here's my big problem with the movie because I agree with you. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't a good film. And if you like it and it's entertaining to you, more power to you. But this is the issue I have, and I think you two can both shed some light on this more than I can. I obviously am not a fan of Marvel, DC movies, comic book movies in general. It's not the characters per se, and it's not about even how poorly, in my opinion, they're written today or how woke they are, or any of the other stuff that I leave to Emily from I Love Comics and other people to go over that stuff. That's not my wheelhouse there. For me, it's like they're CGI crap fest. They spend more on making it look like something and setting it up for the next 2 or 3 or 4 movies. And then they do 1 or 2 things and act like they've done a lot. And, Wonder Woman was trash. Didn't like that at all. This was better than Wonder Woman, but that's not saying much. So to me, I just felt like the director said, you know what? I'm not going to make a Mortal Kombat movie. Or even if he said, I just want to make a good action movie or even a martial arts film. It didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. It seemed like he said, you know what? I'm going to take this comic book movie template. I'm going to make it like that and do a lot of talking, a lot of bullshitting, a lot of this and that, throw 1 or 2 scenes together, allegedly make them spectacular, and then say, God damn, that's a great film. And I think that's just a failure. That's not how you make a Mortal Kombat movie. This basically, to me, was a movie that it seemed like he took the property and force-fed it into that tentpole type franchise thing that we're seeing with a lot of things, much like
he basically tried to make it a world building like Avengers movie.
I guess
because Marvel's world building is over now. The superhero stuff is pretty much done. So now he's trying to build up that template to create the Mortal Kombat thing. But as I said, it was more serious than the first one. But the first one had a plot that had the better villains' betrayals.
Definitely, you could say it was
the bright colors is basically like the game because that's what the game was. The game was campy and gory, and that's what the first one had. This one would do goring, but it was long, slow, and you introduce a new guy who had nothing
This is
to do
only
with
10
it.
minutes longer.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're looking at what specifics. I said this introduces a new guy who basically was saved by his granddaddy. His great-great-granddaddy came in and saved because he didn't want that to happen to what happened to his grandsons to happen to with his family.
Well, Kano's the only one that had any charisma. Like I say, this guy's a charisma vacuum. He was fantastic. If every character had the ability to kind of just relax and act like the way he did and be true to their character,
yeah,
we would have had a lot more fun, interesting film. Because
Kano
frankly,
was fun.
We didn't care about any of these characters. Exactly, he was fun. Okay, yeah, he's supposed to be the bad guy, but we get him. He did what he did, and that's fine. But it was neat to watch. Why do we care about Sonya Blade? We don't. Why do we care about Jax? We don't.
No, I disagree. Sonya Blade was actually kind of good. The way she went against fighting him, she did trapdoor made sense because what people say, you can't have a girl go against a guy, so you should be happy about that because she was using her brain to fight against him.
Well, you and I have been saying for a long time there that, or I should say RDV, who usually co-hosts with me on action movies, on Tuesday night on the Xtreme Movie Show, that's our killer action channel where we cover action films. We've said that for a long time we've wanted Amy Johnson as Sonya Blade because she gets a little vicious and all that. This lady, when I first saw her, I went, she's beautiful. She's very pretty. She looks good. Didn't look fit, but not unathletic. She looked decent, I guess. She didn't look like a martial artist.
Apparently,
I gotta say, she did a really good job. I will agree with you on that. I thought she did a fine job.
They had the same guy, the stunt coordinator, Chris Casamassa.
Was Untitled.
Yeah, well, that's his last name. He helped do the fights in the first one. The drawback from the first movie is the guy who played Liu Kang in the first movie, who actually was a martial artist, they wouldn't let him fight. That was a big drawback from that. This one you get more fighting, but they said the plot was basically like stretched out more. It just wasn't the same as I would like in many other things. But you know what? Everybody likes something different. If this guy over here to my left, the bald guy, if he likes to have it, sorry, my right. I'm left or right. I don't know. Maybe Rob is bald. I don't know. But we'll never know because he'll reveal his face. No. I just want to say that it's okay. It's okay if Palpatine wants to like a movie.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
I'm not mad at the film. I'm not disappointed or like that. It's just not that good.
So I will never say this movie sucks because I may not like the film as much as maybe Palpatine, but I'll never say it is a bad movie because I've seen bad movies. Now, as far as the movie goes, you should like it. It is enjoyable, but there's things I just don't like of it because I have a brain. Maybe if you turn your brain off, you can enjoy this movie.
It's definitely got that reptilian brain going. All right, Palpatine, the floor is yours. Finishing up for final thoughts. You can have the floor.
Hold up. I want to point out Godzilla's cameo in this movie. It was fantastic. Godzilla was in this movie. And then they stuck him with a flare, and then Kano was like, "Oh crap!" And yeah, it was very good to see Godzilla getting a new role in a movie where he actually was appreciated.
Palpatine.
I'm pretty sure that I do have to mention Reptile in this film. I'm pretty sure throughout the more recent games, I believe after the third one, he's been reptilian the entire time. That's his look. He is a reptile. I know that he leans more towards Godzilla and he's not wearing his costume, but he was awesome. He looked fantastic when we actually
everybody watching Mortal Kombat wants to see a fight against an unseen opponent.
What?
Yeah, he was kind of. I know. At this point, he did straight through the Godzilla. You don't see him until too late.
And Palpatine, final thoughts as we close up.
My final thoughts. I really did enjoy this film. I didn't mind anything on the plot. I didn't mind the random character that they created. I thought that it worked out fine. I really enjoyed all the action scenes. I enjoyed all the bad guys in the film as well. And that final fight just pays it off. And I look forward to the next one because they're setting it up for another movie, and I am down with it.
But who will play Johnny Cage? That's the question.
Good question.
Well,
if it's not Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'll be upset.
there you have it, ladies and
And he
gentlemen.
does a little dance. He does. What dancing?
Yeah, well, there you have it, guys. Like I say, this movie's out. People are interested in seeing it. There's a lot of hype. It's doing well, so probably will be a second movie at least. Unfortunately, RDV and Professor Pixel couldn't make it tonight. And like I just would say to them when next time I talk to them, probably Tuesday night, is that glad you weren't here because no human could defend how poor this film was done. That being said, people found reasons to like it. And that's not a bad thing in itself. Sometimes we find reasons to not like a movie, but this movie was just meh to me. But check it out, watch it. It is simple brain candy, nothing more.
I do agree, though. This was a movie I felt myself distracted because I was waiting for everything, the climax, and it just disappointed.
Well, that's what you have when you have millennial needing to get bailed out at the end. It's never a good thing, but I'll let people joke.
Daddy wouldn't let him play. Daddy said no.
Mortal Kombat 2021, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Go check it out. Let us know what you think about it, too. We also have the latest episode of Xtreme TV, a couple different shows coming down your way. We've got Twin Peaks coming up. We just recorded Kolchak. Season 1, episode 14. That a tremendous episode, and then an excellent episode of season 2, episode 6 of Twin Peaks. Professor Pixel and I record as well. Those will be dropping here next day or two. Check those out. Let you know what you think as we continue. Tuesday night, we'll be going back to the Xtreme Movie Show live, probably for an action film there too. So thank you guys for listening. Jim, thank you for showing up here in chat too. Hope you enjoy. Check both films out, Godzilla and this one as well, and we'll see what happens with that. For these guys here, and for the guys not here, let me say thanks for listening as always. Stay extreme.
Bye.
Extreme!
Flawless victory.